John, back on the Challenge Cup trail on Sunday against the Hunslet Hawks. How's your preparations going?
Well, it's going pretty well. I mean, we came through the Kear game really with just bumps and bruises. So injury-wise, we can select from strength. Obviously, we're going to take into account the opposition. We're going to take into account the pitch, the state of the pitch. We're making our selection. So preparations are going very well, and we're in a good place at this moment in time.
Are you going to look for a bit of continuity and keep the same 17, or are you going to look to change things with the Easter schedule on the horizon?
Well, the priority is to win it. I mean, you know, it's a knockout competition, and if you want to be in the hat for the next round, you've got to come out on the right side of the score ledger. So, you know, we're going to prepare a team with that in mind, but we're also going to prepare a team, as you rightly say, with bearing in mind Hunslet the following week, and then a 5-day turnaround to another really tough game, Oldham at home at Hunslet on Good Friday. So they're in the back of our minds. That's the big picture, but there's an immediacy, an immediate picture, and that's obviously progressing in the Challenge Cup.
I mean, the draw next Tuesday will feature the bottom 4 Super League sides, so there is a financial incentive for the Bradford Bulls potentially drawing one of those sides at Hunslet.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's I mean, I know the owner Andrew, he'll be very interested in that, as will others on the administrative staff. But as regards the coaches and players, we want to test ourselves. We want to win as many games as we can, but we want to test ourselves against quality opposition. And should it be a Super League side, we'd be absolutely delighted to welcome them to Hunslet. But we've got the no little matter of Hunslet on Sunday first.
Hunslet, of course, and the George Flanagan factor.
Well, it isn't so much the George Flanagan factor. It's more the fact that Gary Thornton has assembled a very good team. You know, you have to look at their recruits. They've recruited heavily in the off-season. People like Kane Southernwood and Dwayne Stracker, who's well known to people at Hunslet, but certainly well known to people like Elliot Minchella and Matt Garside, as he played with him at Sheffield. So they're recruited really well, and they're a good team. I watched their pre-season game against York. I've also watched their games. The Hemel game was a real scruffy game that you can't really get much out of, but obviously the last game that they played, we certainly can. So we've had a good look at them, and we know full well that there will be a challenge, and they are a really tight, good, compact team that Gary Thornton's put together. Obviously,
you've just mentioned some of the former Bradford players. I mean, you can even drop down a little bit further. Once upon a time, Lewis Reed and Liam McAvoy at the Bradford Bulls Academy, and you're going to find this throughout League One. Because of the Bradford Academy, very vibrant academy structure, and that a lot of former players that have dropped out have ended up at some of these League One clubs. I mean, they've always liked to play with a point to prove.
Well, they will do, yeah. I mean, you could say the same about George, but in all honesty, it's teams that win games, not individuals. There's very few games where I've come away from, whether I've watched them, whether I've coached in them, or whether I've played in them, where you've thought, well, one man's won the game. It's teams that win games, as was demonstrated last week against Keighley, when I just thought everybody did their role, and because everybody did their role, the whole group came together in a really efficient way, and that's what we'll be looking for this week, and I'm sure that's what Gary Thornton will be looking for with his Hunslet side.
Are you going to continue with Joe Keys and Brandon Pickersgill?
We'll have to wait and see. You know, that's one thing. It's certainly throwing me some problems, is young Brandon. He's been a revelation. I mean, if there's one person I'm going to single out at this club who's been the revelation since I've been here, it's Brandon Pickersgill, because he trains consistently well. He played really well throughout the pre-season trial games, and he hasn't put a foot wrong in these games. So I've really got a lot of head scratching to do, but as you've rightly pointed out, Mick, we've got 3 games coming up: Hunslet in the Cup, Hunslet at home, and then quickly followed by Oldham on Good Friday. So I've got to use my noddle, and I've got to make sure that the squad's utilising in the maximum way to ensure the results go Bradford way.
As we mentioned in previous interviews, your name's synonymous with the Challenge Cup. I mean, what's so special about the Challenge Cup, John?
It's the trapdoor football for me, and you know, you lose, you're out. But it's also the very fact that on any given day, an underdog can rise up there and turn the favourite over, and I've no doubt we'll be made the favourites. So what it will be this time, it's a little unusual. We'll be looking at it from the favourites' point of view, making sure that these underdogs don't sort of come with the sleeves rolled up and flying at us and really testing us in every single way. We've got to be able to say that's what will happen. Hunslet will be out there very best on Sunday, and we've got to be in order to match that and give ourselves a chance of progressing.
Every side's different, but you know, when you take little aspects out of Sheffield in '98, Hull in 2005, can you see any key characteristics, similarities between those sides and the 2018 Bradford Bulls?
Yeah, well, you all see similarities, but we're a different group, and it's a different dynamic. And each group that comes together, you know, you respond in different ways to different challenges, and they're still learning about me. I'm still learning about them. But I'll tell you, it's been a really pleasant and enjoyable experience up to now, and the things I am learning are very positive, so it's a real good place to be at the minute, and I'm just looking forward to another challenge, a different challenge. They answered the West Wales challenge absolutely outstandingly well. You know, they didn't put a foot wrong except for that one try, so you know, we'll be looking at a different proposition, obviously, a higher standard of opposition that will be well primed and ready to try to turn us over.